Okay, so I'm gonna make this video. It's like my diary. I'm gonna make a diary out of this thing. Welcome to my tent. It's not much, but I'm just chilling here and I'm traveling and I've had signs bring me out here. I've had to deal with a lot of things while I'm out here. Like I haven't seen any bears yet, and I'm in bear country. I don't know, hopefully they don't disturb me. But I'm just gonna make a diary, start making diary, videos, and see what comes of them. I don't even know. It's helpful sometimes to talk about certain things, I guess. Oh man, today I couldn't help myself. I get online and I go and I sometimes I go onto some group discussions. And I had this question, I go on the flat earth discussions a lot, and I'm not a flat earth believer or kind of pissed at them, honestly, but I could tell about that why, I guess, later. But yeah, I went on there today and I had a genuine question. I just wanted to know, like, okay, so the earth is flat. What's underneath it? You always talk about the firmament and sky, it's either a crystal dome or it's water above the dome, like we're basically in a fishbowl, floating in a fishbowl, like it's not space. They don't believe in stars or planets. Most of them don't, at least. They think it's either a projection or pinholes or I really don't know what the fuck you guys believe. It's ridiculous. But I had a genuine question, and it was like, what's underneath? What could be underneath this dome? Or the earth? What's on the other side? What's underneath us? If it's flat here and you have the earth, right? You have the flat earth, and then, you have everything in us. And then, but on the models, I'm always lost. Like, could there be like another earth beneath us? I don't know. Or, I don't know. Is it like a turtle that I always see? The depiction of a turtle or an elephant sometimes. Like we're riding on the back of this turtle. Some people believe that. Some people believe that like it's like almost like an hourglass type of thing where you have the firmament and then you have a dome and then beneath it is like this hole and it's on the planet's on stilts or some shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Are you guys serious? Like, you have become so detached from reality. It's ridiculous. I had to ask just to see where your imaginations will go because you are operating with no evidence to support any of these theories. And, oh man, I don't even know. I feel like every one of them gets so upset. They get so upset when you like ask about things. And if they don't know the answers, they get pissed at you for asking. This one guy's like, one person said that there's nothing. They're like, "Why do you insist that there has to be something?" And I'm like, "What? You think that there's nothing out here? You think that what? The stars are just products of the I don't even know what they think." I was fucking with him. I don't like flat earthers. Do you know why I don't like flat earthers? It's because a lot of them were on the right track, actually. Because a lot of them believe in these conspiracies, and they a lot of them think that, that there's corruption in the government and we're being lied to, and that NASA's lying to us, and that there's no real picture of the Earth, and that it's all CGI and it's all computer generated. And I get the mistrust to that shit, but I don't even know how you could. To me, what happened was they fell victim to the rhetoric and the disinformation, and they're being distracted because who cares? I mean, I don't. I know that the planet is completely a sphere, and that's how things are. I think that the fact that the moon doesn't rotate really throws them off. And to me, I feel like there are also like these shut-ins that they haven't been outside the planet, so they have to come up with these ridiculous scientific explanations that are really misrepresenting everything about, science and gravity and, how, you know, why are things level? Like, if the Earth is round, then how could we have a level plane anywhere? You're measuring shit. To me, it's because the Earth is fucking huge. Okay? It's because we live on a massive planet. Like, it goes for fucking miles and miles. Anyway, I just feel like they have created these delusions that were perpetuated on them, and they don't even realize that they are being misled by the people that they distrust. Simply by believing in the flat earth, they are being misled by the people that they think are lying to them. They fell to the disinformation of things. It's a complete distraction because who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about it now. Let me make this point. Who fucking cares? Okay? Because whether or not the Earth is flat or round, we still have all the issues going on here. And, you still have wars, and you still have poverty, you still have crime, you still have drugs, you still have trafficking, you still have corruption in the private sector and in government and in industries, and you still have poisons being perpetuated on us, and I dislike them because they can see some of that. Like, they can see that there's like this New World Order type of thing going on, and that there might be, different dark shit that happens here. But my point is, they know a lot of the truth, but then they get the idea that the Earth is flat in there, and it's basically like taking a shit in the punch bowl. So, I'm at this campsite now, and never been here before. Seems like I'm basically at a shooting range. This is like this long campsite next to the river. I'm glad I have my gun too. I've got a couple guns. Anyone takes shots at my tent, I swear to God, I'm gonna go out there like John McClane. I only have fucking my socks on. I'm gonna start going out there like John McClane fighting fucking German terrorists with no shoes. Take this off and just have a wife beater. There's 3 cars coming. I don't know if you could tell. Maybe you can hear that. I'm pretty close to the road too, but I'm also close to the river. I like being next to the river. He's gonna smoke weed too. Flat earthers, man, they fucking really get under my fucking skin. Bad. Really bad. Like, they know things that are true. You know? But then they just, I don't even know how. It's probably because they have become disillusioned. In my opinion. This is all my opinion, by the way. You could disagree with this or not, but let's see. Oh, a second. People are outside. So they've become disillusioned. They've lost their grip on reality. And really what I think it's because that they got into a lot of dark truths like pedophilia. Like, that shit's going on. I don't even know what the fuck you're thinking about. And, like, things like surrounding 9/11, things surrounding JFK, whether or not there's good or bad ETs around. Like, they got into all that, and it was too much. And instead, what the, people who were behind all of these conspiracies did is that they just talked about, or they sent the psychological operations out and started talking about a flat earth. And maybe it also triggered something in people's DNA because they might have, like, believed that at some point in their past lives. I believe in past lives. Sure. Maybe, maybe that started to get turned on in their genes and wasn't too hard for them to grasp. And it's good, like, it sends them into this other world where they can escape. I think that's what's happening with it. They're using it to escape not only the world, but also themselves. And they get really pissed about it. I don't think that they've emotionally regulated themselves. They haven't explored spirituality that much, I think. I mean, some people I feel like have. When I meet somebody who's spiritual and then they believe in the flat earth, I can't do it. I feel like you're going to be doing more harm than good. Because at some point, your Manchurian candidate psychological subliminal shit's going to go off. And you're just going to start spouting out fucking bullshit about flat earth. And you're going to mislead people. And you're going to detract them from the actual things that are going on. People are also trying to dismiss the pedophilia. They don't realize that frickin' like every president, in my opinion, has been a pedophile. Even JFK has not good stories about underage women. But to me, the greatest president we've had was JFK. And I can't confirm or deny whether or not he has actually been with underage women. But pretty sure he was banging Marilyn Monroe, though. Like, I don't think that he was kind of like Bill Clinton, but Bill Clinton, I feel like, wasn't close to the man that JFK was. That we wanted Bill Clinton to be that, but no. So, in my opinion, you have had pedophiles in the White House forever. And that's a hard truth that not only do flat earthers try to escape from, most of them do, in my opinion, but fuck, most of the fucking public does too. A lot of people are interested, but to me, this is incredibly serious. Our fucking kids are getting raped and killed, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? And what are you doing most of the day? You know? Like, what do you do with yourself? We should be not tolerating this stuff. You allow for that? Are you kidding? This guy who's in the office now, I don't trust him. I know that he is being utilized for being a bull in a china shop. But I don't like him. I've met him astrally, too. I wonder if he remembers me, if he ever sees this. I've met him in the astral realm. I don't know if you, I don't know anybody who knows about astral projection, you know, or remote viewing, lucid dreaming, stuff like that. I've been able to do that stuff. It's pretty fun. Haven't been able to do it recently. I have just been smoking weed for the past 2 or 3 years. It's been insane. So smoking weed for me, at least, and I think this goes for some people, it will shut your dreams down. Like, I haven't dreamt. I have only just recently started dreaming again. And that's because I have not smoked that much weed. So, my stomach's going off. I don't know if you can hear that shit. My stomach's like, oh, you have an iPhone on top of me? Come on. I want to go to bed. Shut up, stomach. Our food is garbage. Anyway, I met Trump. He had a castle. This is what I remember, and this is 100% the truth from me. Okay, this is what I remember and can recall. Is I met him at a castle that had a moat, and I was at one of his parties, and like during this time, this was probably right when Trump and Biden were trying to get into office, because I also met Biden, or tried to at least. And I haven't voted in my life. Not once. I'm not voting for any of these guys. Are you kidding? Who would vote for these people? Are you in your right mind? Are you guys okay in the public? Like, I don't know. You guys are being misled so bad. And you're just parrots thinking the things from other people. Most of our personalities in this world, they're not ours. They were constructed. Most people have constructed personalities, devised by other people. Yeah, for sure. That's my opinion. Can't take it away from me. Do your own fucking research, too. So, I met Trump at his castle. I met him by the elevator. He was putting on his jacket. He's a busy guy, and we had a conversation. I can't remember most of this conversation, but I do remember talking to him about his ego and trying to understand what the ego was, and if egos get out of control, especially people in positions of power, that could be a negative influence on, the mass population, the public in the United States. He got triggered when I started to bring up his ego. And I just remember he didn't kick me out of his party. He basically just went in the elevator, and that was the end of the conversation because he didn't want to have more of it. So then later on, I remember I was swimming in this moat at his castle. This is all in the astral realm. He set this up somehow, he created this space for himself in another dimension. And I just remember there were girls swimming by me, maybe like 20 yards away, and he had a shark fin on his back, and he went to go scare the girls, and the girls are like, "Oh my God, there's a fucking shark in here!" And he just popped out of the water, and he's like, "Boo!" He scared the girls, and the girls like, "Oh my God, Mr. Trump, you got us so bad." Yeah. And so then, after he scared the girls, I could see him, and he looked at me. And I just waved at him, and he's like, "Ugh. Oh, God, I am not going near that guy. Fuck that guy." Yeah, Trump doesn't like me because, I ask hard questions, just like the flat earthers are probably not going to like me. That's fine. I also tried to meet Biden. This was also in pretty much like a span of a week. And again, I don't care about them. I try not to get into politics. I just know everybody's an asshole. I am not a Republican, nor am I a Democrat, nor do I want to get into politics at all. Or try to label myself as some sort of fucking, political party. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking losers, honestly. The people that are in those positions are fucking losers to me, and the people that follow them are really needing to have some sort of wake-up call. Because if you think that these people are leading you into any direction that is actually beneficial for your own interest, then you're fucking just continuing the cycle that everybody else is going through. You're not helping. You're not. So my point is that I don't look at politics. I don't try to focus on it. And I got thrusted into these situations. I didn't set up the dream oh, I'd love to meet Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden. No. I want to explore the universe. My mind has been open since I was 23 or something like that. I have been wanting to explore the cosmos and all the exotic technologies that are around. I don't give two fucks about Joe Biden. Okay? But anyway, I got thrusted towards the White House. I remember that. And my spirit was descending on the White House like this. And I could see everybody in my, I could see everybody clearly in the foreground. And I remember Snoop Dogg was there, and there were women everywhere on the White House lawn, everywhere. And I remember Joe Biden looking at me like he wasn't happy with me either. He didn't want to. He didn't want to meet me either. None of us wanted to meet each other. This is like, to me, it was God throwing everybody into the melting pot and seeing what happened. I never got to talk to Biden, but I remember hearing Snoop Dogg. Like, Snoop Dogg's kind of like a pimp. He used to do that, right? He used to have like these sexual fucking. I think he used to do like pornos and shit like that. Snoop Dogg's a fucking asshole too. Fuck you, Snoop Dogg. I wish that Snoop Dogg died instead of Ozzy Osbourne, but I'm glad Ozzy Osbourne's dead too. I like Ozzy Osbourne's music. Like, I like Black Sabbath, some of their songs, But Ozzy Osbourne was a fucking asshole. But I digress. Good. Now I'm going to upset a lot of people. Like, I'm not here to be liked. Like, I don't care if you like me or not, by the way, So, just a disclaimer. I remember Snoop Dogg fucking saying, like, he's like, "Oh shit, Joe Biden, I didn't know you had a daughter. She's hot as fuck. Let's get her ass in a bikini and shit." And and it's like there was just all this music going on, and that was the end of the encounter. That's it. That's all I remember. And Joe Biden, I could tell immediately, was trying to distract me, just like the flat Earth with flat Earth. How that's a psychological distraction. Joe Biden tried to distract me with women, and that is kind of my Achilles heel. Like, I do love women. I am a heterosexual man, so anyway, that was probably around 2020, 2019, basically around that election. And I just don't like the leaders that we have in the positions that they're in. And I don't like that we continue to put them in that position, thinking that we're going to, promote change in our government by propping up another leader who ends up just becoming another tyrant. Because I don't think it's about the president. I think that it goes way beyond the government, who's actually, like, misleading us. I think that there's secret governments around the world. They operate beyond the means of the political arena, and they operate beyond the color of law. They feel like they're above the law. They have the power and knowledge to enact their will and influence people with different things in the media and stuff like that, but I just don't see how a lot of people miss this stuff. It's like, I feel like people in general are just so distracted with trying to keep up with the demand of what is expected out of them, trying to pay the bills and the taxes, and like, it's fucking ridiculous that there's sales tax on everything. Think about that for a minute. Like, everything that you buy goes into the pot. It goes into the treasury or whatever they do. Like, everything, even from something that's $1, or if you're buying a car, or even if you're buying a house or land or shit like that. Like, come on. Unless you're buying it outright from a homeowner, owner financing, And they're going to try to stop that shit too. Like, that's really what I feel like's going on here. You can't even have private sales anymore because things are going to get digitized and they're going to start taxing the private sales. It's going to get worse. And this money is not going anywhere. That is becoming a benefit to us and the planet. This money is not being utilized. If anything, we only get to see a fraction of it. Most of it gets dumped into the military. And we've been warned about that with Eisenhower. That that the military has grown into something that has become its own industry. And they get so much fucking money a year. And to me, I feel like some of the stories that I've heard out of some of the people that were in those circles that worked for the government talked about these lavish fucking parties, or even like even the programs that they would do. Sometimes they would self-sabotage the programs because they wanted funding to continue. So it was a means of basically laundering money. You know? Even when they had breakthroughs in some areas of whatever we were funding, they just used the money and funneled it into something else. Mostly it was for personal interests. People getting taken advantage every fucking day. Your paycheck goes, most of your paycheck goes to the fucking government, you know? You get taxed on even your labor. It's fucking bullshit. How long are we going to sit here and continue to get raped by these people? Now, they are rapists, too. Like, they are... Not only are they raping you for money, but they're also raping your children. This is almost like... I feel like William Wallace tried to fucking fight this shit in the past. This is Braveheart shit again. Where it's like, you know, Longshanks is like, you give me your money and your wives, and I'm going to, you know, basically, what? Be the first man that they sleep with before marriage? What fucking laws were that? I feel like it's the same shit is going on. They just don't, they're not so blatant with it. I don't trust Child Protective Services or those types of people. I'm not saying that they don't always do their job, but I do feel like there's some lost causes that they take advantage of that get sucked into this sex trafficking thing. And Epstein is just he's just one star in a bunch of the fucking, you know, the galaxies that exist in these sex trafficking rings. Like, you want to talk about Pizzagate, and all these things get made fun of. Like, obviously they're getting made fun of because the media doesn't want you to take it seriously. I forget some of the people that were involved. And then they scapegoat some of them so that you have like a face to blame everything on. But really, they're just scapegoats. Scapegoats like Lee Harvey Oswald was a scapegoat. He got blamed for that shit. Lone gunman type of shit. Give me a break. JFK, to me, may not have been perfect, but I could create an idea that he was getting blackmailed too, or that he got put into situations where he was getting blackmailed. And I feel like JFK woke up because Eisenhower wanted to wake him up. And JFK got killed for so many different types of reasons. That was a crime, not only against him, but also against the people, because they're trying to take out a president who was trying to do things like going to NATO or going to the United Nations and trying to talk about peaceful disarmament for the United States and the world. Because they also knew that the road that they were headed down, this Cold War basically, was something that was going to potentially ruin the whole planet. So he wanted a disarmament not only of nuclear weapons, but also weapons in general. I am on the fence with guns. I'm not a gun guy, okay? I have one right next to me, but you kind of have to have one in this world because we haven't fully grown up yet. We don't know how to treat each other, and we're all operating from a level of scarcity that has been inundated onto us because people are trying to consolidate the wealth and power that they have, and they don't want you really rising to power. They want you right on the bottom of the labor force because, they don't like competition and they like slavery. You have debt slavery now, and everybody's involved. I know that African American people have been persecuted. Native Americans have been persecuted. Now you have Mexican Americans being persecuted. I don't like at all this whole deportation shit because it reminds me of fucking Nazi Germany. The Nazis, if we remember what they did, they went beyond the Jews, and it was really just whoever wasn't a part of that political party was gonna get fucking shot at. And America gives me a lot of tones of Germany. The cops love it when you call them Nazis. The military. We create a lot of these enforcers that start to have this authoritarianistic behavior. And then they like to become oppressive, and we have been down this road before. You know what I'm saying? We've been down this fucking road. We know what happens when you create more security over liberty. And the people that founded this country knew that as well. But you look at that as a joke because, what, your superiors do? Yikes. Like I've said this before in a video I made, but that excuse of following orders is not going to work. You could use that as a defense. Good luck. But people in this country, especially the police, try to, not all of them. Some try to do good. I could see good cops and I could see mostly bad cops. But I'm not saying there's not good people who are police officers, or good people who are in the military, or good people who are in the government, or good people who are in private sector, or good people in the public, or there's good flat earthers, or there's good conspiracy theorists, or that there's, what else? I know that there's good people in all walks of life, but ultimately, the police are being used as an extension of the state, and the state is the extension of the Fed. And we've just become fodder for them to push around. And that's not fucking cool. Don't be pushing my ass around. Don't try to tell me what to do. If I haven't committed a crime, if I haven't hurt someone or damaged their property or caused injury to anyone or the land, then leave me the fuck alone. Don't try to come in here and extort me. Don't try to come in here and shake me down like some fucking what? It's a bully. It's intimidating tactics. Don't treat people that way. Like, we are losing sight over who we are and what we are. Like, I think we've just grown so accustomed and normalized the fact that, you know, the civilizations that we've built are imperfect, and I feel like we take advantage of that as police officers. And even that's become its own industry. How much money do they make off of what? Speeding tickets and, registration or insurance or fucking, oh, you went over the line, or, oh, drinking and driving? Like, I'm not trying to advocate for drinking and driving, but they'll use anything to try to create a crime, because then they could try to fine you. Or if you commit a crime, then what? You get a $10,000 bond, or, or bail's set at this, blah, blah, blah. It's an industry. It's a joke. It's not the justice system anymore. It's just become another part of the extension of this whole monopolistic and, it's become another part of the monetary system. We have lost sight of true justice. And most people who have money generally get treated better in the justice system, or a criminal justice system, Like, what did Epstein, didn't he get, like, mostly a slap on the wrist a few times? And then I don't even know what his sentence was. I forget what it was, but now people are getting pardoned from that. Trump's trying to pardon people from January 6th, and then now he's trying to also, pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? Ghislaine? Whatever the fuck her name is? Ghislaine? I don't know how to fucking pronounce her name. I'm going to call her Ghislaine, because that's more appropriate for her. Leave that cunt in jail. You could... Even if Epstein was alive, I think Trump might even try to save his buddy. And that's an abuse of authority. But anyway, it's not about Trump. This is just really the things that weigh on my mind, because I can see pretty much everywhere I go, people are not doing well. I'm an empath, okay? I can fucking pick up on vibes. And a lot of people are just lost, and after a lot of fucking, temporary comforts or false comforts, dopamine hits. People are drinking beer, like, that's legal? Yeah, okay. Finally making weed legal, and that's been a long time coming. To me, you should make psilocybin legal. How the fuck are cigarettes still legal? Vaping's legal? Yeah, because it destroys you. Because, again, they don't want you rising to anything. They want you to stay where you are. They want you to work that meaningless job. Because that's what's around. That's what's available. But really, to me, what we have to do is create our own means of having something that reflects us better. having things that create a greater sense of humanity and greater sense of community. Like, I know that's cliche, but look at it though. Like, when my parents grew up, or boomers, and I think the silent generation, you know, groomed the boomers. You know, they had block parties a lot. That was more of a frequent thing, I feel, back then. Now you don't get that shit. Do you have block parties at all? Maybe you have parties with, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I feel like the frequency of them has deteriorated. And COVID, when it came in, trying to separate people, literally putting masks on and trying to push them back 6 feet, like, that was an attempt to me not to just deter the virus, but it was also to deter people from connecting with one another. And we didn't really stand for most of it. I mean, a lot of people didn't, but also a lot of people fell for the same bullshit. And then, what, the anti-vaxxers? You could pin that on me if you want. I'm not exactly against vaccines. All right? I feel like that practice, when done effectively and having an efficacy in the practice, and ethically done, can have its own uses. But when you're throwing in things like thimerosal, okay, Robert Kennedy's starting to get on that, and a lot of people don't like Robert Kennedy, and I don't even know what's wrong with you. He's the one person, besides Ron Paul, that I would listen to in politics. And I think Robert Kennedy's trying to do the best that he can in the position that he's in. Like, how much fucking corn syrup do we drink? That stuff has a negative effect on us. There's a whole litany of things that come from, consuming stuff like that. But I digress. I bring him up because he's trying to go after vaccines, and there's a whole bunch of people who are a lot like the flat earthers. They are propping up the state, and they just mimic and parrot the state. And they also don't want to admit, like the flat earthers, because the flat earthers have been proven wrong so many fucking times, I can't even tell you. They have nothing to work with. And my point is that they have nothing, flat earthers have nothing to work with because it's not true. They have to create their evidence, or they have to distort things in order to fit their narrative. And that's what I mean about the people who follow a lot of what the state projects onto them, is the narrative. And they don't want to admit that taking the vaccine was dangerous and possibly detrimental and ineffective. And I feel like COVID was just another delivery system to implement these agendas. The mRNA that was in there is supposed to distort your genetic code. They have explanations for everything, or they must have explanations for everything. But I feel like there's a web of deception going on with their explanations. It's 100% to me. So, my point is that I'm not against vaccines, but I'm against people trying to utilize them to fit an agenda where it's an attack on the public. And you don't think the public's getting attacked? Oh boy. I was just watching this movie called Downwind, okay? That's about nuclear weapons. And I've seen the effect now, recently, that all of the bombs being dropped off in the southern part of Nevada has had tremendous negative effects on the entire nation. The whole country basically got sprayed with radiation. They had almost 1,000 nuclear weapons being dropped off and bombed, and the radiation gets taken downwind. Hence the fucking name. So, I'm just trying to say that if you think that these people give two living fucks about you, you are wrong. They only give a shit about the people that can help them. And unless you're in a position of power, they don't give a fuck about you. They may have some sort of like, PR move where they go and they try to be with the people, but they need you to think that they like to be in your circles. They don't give a shit about you. The government does not care about you. They're not doing what their job is supposed to be doing, or what their job was intended to be. Their job was intended to be something where, you're supposed to protect the rights of the people. That's really what the government's supposed to be doing. And I just feel like all these laws that they created. Oh, another one I found out recently that is devastating. That they have a law that they can keep. Are you ready for this? They can keep inventions from the patent office secret if they deem it to be a threat to the socioeconomic construction, or if it goes against national security. Now, who is making these decisions? Because I guarantee you, this is why we haven't officially put out any word that we are not alone in this universe. They are trying to consolidate and compartmentalize a lot of these technologies that would make our lives different and make it more efficient. You are being scammed. You're being taken for a ride. You're being taken advantage of. You're being oppressed. And you don't even realize it. A lot of people waking up. I don't know who the fuck is on the other end of this here camera. You probably awake. I don't want to say woke, because they tried to make becoming enlightened a psychological warfare. Woke, to me, means something different than what you may think it is. I don't even use woke. I say he's awake or she's awake. Or I'm enlightened. I'm not illuminated.